Television broadcaster, there's times where you get to really enjoy your work because you get to say hi and meet and talk to people that you really feel inspired by. This is one of those moments for me, so bear with me. Our next guest, his books have sold over 5 million copies. You've seen many of the movie adaptations, High Fidelity with John Cusack, About a Boy with Hugh Grant, lots of others, Fever Pitch, which is actually autobiographical. Nick Hornby is in town to talk about his latest book, which is not fiction at all, Dickens and Prince, and we'll get to that in a minute. But it's nice to meet you, and it's nice to see you, and I'm going to do my best not to kind of like just fawn all over you for the next 4 minutes, if you don't mind.
It's very nice to be here. Thank you.
Well, let's talk about your writing first. And for those who aren't familiar with the Nick Hornby style of writing, your characters have a couple of similar pangs in them. How would you describe them?
Well, quite often the men are obsessive.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually a little bit adrift, however old they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you want to write things that are vaguely comic, which I do, then there's no point in picking up characters who are completely successful in
There's
everything.
no point in it.
There's no point in it. Yeah, there's nothing to make fun of. So they're rather a mess usually. Everyone's a mess.
Do you find yourself pulling from the Nick Hornby life over the past years and saying, oh wait, that's something you yourself identifies with, or is it other people? Where are you getting your material?
It started off with the Nick Hornby life,
Mm-hmm.
and as time goes on, you've run out of stuff, so then you're looking at other people, you're reading, you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's my job to think of ideas, though.
You mentioned obsessive. We're talking about pop culture. It's not just pop culture. It's music, it's movies, it's sports. You yourself, a big Arsenal Football Club fan, and that's what was the basis for your first novel, Fever Pitch, which became a movie with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. When you see culture and the obsessiveness of some people obsessing over that culture, does that make how do you get a story out of that, or do you even try?
Well, I mean, that is innately funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sports fans know that they're slightly ridiculous.
I don't think it's slightly.
But they can't stop themselves from caring.
Mm-hmm.
And so the tension in that is really interesting, I think.
And it's not just sports. In one of your books, Juliet Naked, you talk about grown men still obsessing over singers from long ago and how they kind of re-enter the life a little bit. What do you hope the reader gets out of these stories? Do you want them to identify with your characters?
You know what? When I wrote High Fidelity and people started to read it, there were some really nerdy references in that book. And I got letters from people saying, oh, I'm a fan of Guy Clark, or I'm a fan of not Bob Marley and the Wailers, but the Seattle Wailers. And they weren't finding any of it particularly funny. They just thought, I know these people. I gave it to my mum, who doesn't know the names of any of them, and she thought it was hilarious. And that's kind of the spirit in which it's intended. And sometimes people are too close to the material.
There you go. You've written lots of fiction, and while he was talking, we're showing you clips from High Fidelity. I grabbed some of the books. These are my books. I've got so many of the pages, dog marked, because I found myself identifying with characters. But you've also, let's get away from the fiction for a second, because you've written a number of essays. Your latest, Dickens and Prince, is Charles Dickens and Prince, the purple one. What do they have to do together? And that's not fiction.
Well, I do have this other string to my bow. I've been writing a books column in an American magazine called The Believer for the last 20-odd years, Fever Pitch.
And your first book was essays about authors. So clearly there's a common theme here.
Yeah. It's something that I enjoy doing, actually, writing non-fiction. But Dickens and Prince, I started to think about it when there's this massive Sign of the Times box set that came out. And usually when these reissues happen, there's 2 or 3 extra tracks and maybe a live version. The Sign of the Times one, it was 86 extra tracks that had all been recorded around that time, which is more than Jimi Hendrix recorded in his lifetime. So what Prince has left over is more than
They're
most
going to be
people's
releasing
careers.
his stuff into the next millennium.
Well,
right?
they think they've got enough for a new album every 6 months for the next 50 or 60
But now,
years.
if you're not a Prince fan, and if you're not a Dickens fan, which I mean as classic as they're going to get, what do you tell somebody why they should read this?
Well, it's about creativity, I think, and what I was going to say about Prince's overproductivity. Dickens had it too.
Yeah.
And they both produced absolute massive amounts of work. I think work probably killed both of them. They were both dead before they were 60. They were both superstars all their life. It was a way of comparing superstars from different generations, actually, in different times.
I can go on for hours and hours, and at that point, the only people would find it interesting probably me and Nick, and maybe not even Nick after a while. But the reason that he's here is he's talking with the West Hartford Reads. You're going to be doing a talk about the latest book in all your books and a book signing tonight. Yeah, exactly. That's King Philip Middle School in West Hartford, 7 o'clock. Tickets are available, and he'll happy to chat ad nauseum with you about little idiosyncrasies if you are obsessive over his books, like I think I am. We got to go. But I just want to read one thing, just amongst the things I've dog-marked that describe me. It's hard, and this is from High Fidelity. It's hard when you're putting all your effort into one bit of your life to suddenly find out that it's the wrong bit. and I got to tell you, without going into therapy lessons, that sums me up. So maybe I should be giving you a copay too.
Maybe we should have an hour on your problems here.
We have a lot on this couch to discuss. Nick Hornby, it's an honor.
It's been great
pleasure.
to talk to
Thank you.